you, Jason David Frank.
And Mr. Saban.
That's Tom.
And that's Chris.
Turbo, a Power Rangers movie.
We're going to talk about it, so stay tuned.
It's PRNT time.
This is Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger. You are watching PRNT. Wow, wow.
Welcome, Rangers.
This episode of
PRNT,
your source for all things
Power Rangers.
On this episode, we're going to review and talk about Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. We're going to give you a quick synopsis, talk about some points we feel need to be discussed. It's going to be very similar to our first review of the first Power Rangers movie, and if you have not checked that out, be sure to do so now.
Yeah, we'll have it in an annotation box about right here somewhere. And quick cut. The first thing we want to say is that unlike the first Power Ranger movie, titled Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, this movie is within the TV universe of Power Rangers. It is a transition movie that helps transition the series from Zeo to Turbo.
The movie centers around a wizard named Larigo who is being hunted by Divatox because she needs his help passing through the Nemesis Triangle to a mysterious island where a dark secret lays.
Once there, her plan is to resurrect Malagor, marry him, and then control the universe as husband and wife.
Larigo flees to Earth, and his entrance into the Earth's atmosphere is picked up by Alpha and Zordon. Zordon then sends out Kat and Tommy to pick him up.
Once they do, they bring him back to the power chamber, where he tells Alpha and Zordon all that has happened.
Through a series of events that we're not going to spoil for you, the Rangers decide to go to this island to try and beat Divatox, but they can't do it with the Zeo powers. They need the new Turbo powers, which is where the transition between Zeo and Turbo takes place.
This is where we will stop our synopsis. We don't want to spoil anything for you. If you're curious how everything goes down, check out the movie yourself. It's worth the watch.
Now let's talk about some of the characteristics of this movie and how it relates to the PR universe.
Turbo is not only a time of transition between seasons, but it is also a movie of firsts and lasts. To start off, let's talk about the lasts.
The last in this movie refers to our characters who we see for the last time. We see three characters kind of leave the series after this, them of course being Ernie, Kimberly, and Rocky.
That's right. After the movie, Lieutenant Stone takes over Ernie's juice bar, saying that Ernie had to leave because of his foreign service. They called him, saying he had to go to South America to do some volunteer work.
This is also the last time we see Kimberly actually acting out a role. Now, we say that because we did see her in Dino Thunder, but that was stock footage, okay? It wasn't Amy Jo Johnson, reprising her role as Kimberly. This movie is the last time we actually see Kim in a new script and a new role. In the movie, her and Jason are captured by Divatox, and she plans on using them as sacrifices to Malagor.
The last character we see for one of the last times is Rocky. In this movie, Rocky is training for a karate competition, and he gets injured, therefore unable to perform his Power Ranger duties. Now, we say that it's one of the last times that we see him because he is actually in the first couple episodes of Turbo, but after that, he fades out of the series completely.
Now that we finished our lists of lasts, let's talk about our list of firsts. Now, our first topic is related to the fact that Rocky is unable to perform his Ranger duties. So that means that the Ranger team needs a new Blue Ranger, and they find that in a kid named Justin. So it's the first time we see Justin, although he does stick around and do the entire Turbo series. in the TV episodes.
Now, I love the fact that they brought in a kid to be a Power Ranger, because it shows how powerful the morphing grid is, first of all, that a child can be used as a force of good. It gives us, hope. A chubby guy like me could be a Power Ranger. Maybe the morphing grid could help someone that's normally stuck in a wheelchair to be a Power Ranger. I love the fact that Justin is a Power Ranger.
I, on the other hand, am not so keen on the idea. Yes, the morphing grid can do all that stuff. We've seen it done. But the morphing grid can only do so much. Being a ranger is more about having power. It's about maturation level. It's about fighting skills. It's about morals and all that good stuff. And I just feel that a kid is not at those levels enough to be a Power Ranger.
Do you agree with Tom on this, or do you agree with me on this? Whatever your thoughts are, please put them in the comments below. Moving on, our next first instance is that this is the first time Tommy sees Kimberly after her Dear John letter that she wrote him in that Zeo episode. In the movie, Jason and Kim are turned evil by Malagor, and they end up fighting Tommy and the rest of the Turbo Rangers. During this fight, Tommy takes off his helmet as he's trying to snap Kimberly out of this spell. At least that's what we first think. When you think more about this scene, you realize that maybe there's more of a deeper meaning to it. He's trying to open the eyes of someone that he once loved and that once loved him.
The line, "Kim, look at me," it just has so much emotion in it that we theorize is not related solely on the fact that she has been turned evil. But poor Tommy, after having his heart broken by her and seeing her again, but now she's trying to kill him, I'm sure that's not how Tommy had imagined their first meeting after the Dear John letter.
But it's okay, JDF, because I love you. I love you, JDF.
This completes our list of first. So now let's move to some more general comments, some questions we might have. Starting with, why did the Rangers need the turbo powers in the first place?
Well, hold on. We already answered that one. They needed the powers in order to make it through the Nemesis Triangle.
Well, that is true, but it begs the question, why did they need a whole new set of powers? Why couldn't they just build a device that would allow them to pass safely through the Nemesis Triangle to the island where Divatox was stationed?
Well, to be honest, we don't totally know.
No.
It's possible that the Zeo Crystal was getting too powerful and unstable, so the Rangers had to find a new source of power. Maybe Zordon didn't just want to keep running off the Zeo power, or maybe they just wanted new suits and Zords. Your guess is as good as ours.
Second, we ask, why did Justin hide from the Rangers in the hospital room? In the scene, he's in visiting Rocky, who's in the hospital after his accident, and Justin hears the other Rangers, kind of coming down the hallway, and instead of being there to greet them, he decides to hide under the bed.
While under the bed, Justin hears Zordon radio to the Rangers, and then he sees them teleport out of the hospital room. Our question, though, is, again, why did he hide? In the beginning of the movie, it is clear that he knows the Rangers and he's friends with them, but why did he hide when they were entering the room? It just doesn't make sense.
No. Our next question is directed at Divatox. While the Rangers are on the ship, we see them attacked by the Putropods. Big reptilian with hairy leg creatures. We want to know, why didn't Divatox use them more during the Turbo TV series? We see them in 3 episodes, but all the other times she relies on the Pranatrons. But we feel that the Putropods were more gruesome, more ghoulish, nastier, and we think that they would have done a much better job, instilling fear in the masses of Angel Grove than the Pranatrons did.
Definitely. Our final thing we want to point out is Bulk and Skull. We see them with Lieutenant Stone at a baseball game. They're in police uniforms. And Lieutenant Stone does make mention that they are back on the force. But our question is, why are Bulk and Skull even there? At the end of Zeo, they are supposed to be going to France for a secret mission. Apparently they completed their secret mission, came home, reunited with Stone, and got back on the Force.
Lastly, no discussion of the Turbo movie is complete without bringing attention to the fact that Malagor in the movie looks a lot like Dark Spectre from the TV series. Divatox even mentions it. When she's talking to Dark Spectre, she goes, you kind of remind me of my fiancé. Now, we're sure we know why we did this. Okay, instead of creating a new monster, they just recycled the costume from the movie. But who's to say that Malagor and Dark Spectre aren't two specimens of the same species?
You're welcome, production team.
If you have any comments, questions, or answers to our questions, or anything else you want to talk about, be sure to leave them in the comments below.
Thank you so much for sharing this video, liking it, commenting, and of course, subscribing if you haven't already. If you go here, you can like us on Facebook.
If you go here, you can follow us on Twitter.
And if you go here, you can follow us on Instagram.
And remember, as we sign off, our hope is that the power will always protect you.
Let's power down.
So if you've been watching and checking us out the past couple of months, you've noticed that we've started including people in the beginning of each episode.
Yeah, we really want to show off our fans. So if you could just send us a clip of you saying your name, where you're from, and it's PRNT time, we would gladly tag you in the beginning of an episode.
We look forward to seeing those, and now enjoy some bloopers from this week's episode. We'll see you around.
Welcome, Rick. Dang it! Dang it!
On this episode, we're going to talk about turbo operation.
Where were you going, fool? And is unable to perform his Power Ranger duties. Crap.